With Australia's new aged care reforms just weeks away, there are calls to address a critical shortage in the aged care workforce with a new visa classification. A report from CEDA, the Committee for Economic Development of Australia, has found demand for care and carers will continue to grow as Australia's population ages. And an aged care visa may be the answer. To find out more, CEDA Chief Executive Melinda Cilento is with us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Laura.
Just how much of a shortage is there of aged care workers across the industry?
Well, we did some research recently which showed that the projections are a shortfall of around 100,000 workers by 2030, growing to up to 400,000 by 2050 as the population ages and demand for care services grows.
Wow. What are the current types of visas that aged care workers can come into Australia under?
Yeah, what we see, firstly, I think it's really important to understand that there is a significant proportion of the workforce now that is migrant workers. A lot of them come in on temporary visas or visas, we call it sort of coming in sideways. So they're coming in with partners or they're students who are here for a short period of time. They're, making a contribution, of course, but what we're stressing is that we think fast-tracking an essential skills visa for aged care workers would allow us to meet the growing need for workers with people who've got the skills and experience and who want to work in the sector.
How reliant are we on a migrant aged care workforce?
Yeah, well, at the moment, about 1 in 6 workers are on temporary visas, and there would be more workers who've come in through the migration system than that. And so we think that there is an opportunity to actually make sure we've got a decent pipeline, one that complements the needs that we're going to have to build a domestic workforce as well through proper education and training.
So a dedicated aged care visa, how would it work?
Yeah, I think it's important to sort of recognise as well that the Australian government has acknowledged the importance of creating an essential skills pathway for the care sector. They've attempted to do this through the adoption of labour agreements. We've released some research today that shows they're not working. And so what we're proposing is a visa stream that would allow employers to register their interest in attracting migrant workers and migrant workers themselves nominating themselves and having their skills assessed and all of the other requirements assessed and then being matched to employers. So sort of streamlining a process that isn't working for business at the moment.
And would it be an easier pathway for them to get these visas?
Oh, absolutely. And, we're hearing from business at the moment that, they're struggling with the processes that exist. They're taking too long. They're costly. There are different conditions and requirements across the state. So really what we're proposing is something that would work much better for business. Migrant workers coming in, obviously would be attracted by a particular employer, but if that didn't work out, they would have the opportunity to move across employers as well, which we think is really important.
So, Melinda, has the government indicated this is something it might consider?
They have, and I think there's work that's going to proceed with it. We think that needs to sort of progress at pace. And as I said earlier, they've got an approach which they've adopted to try to address this demand for aged care workers. It's not working. It's really being used to formalise arrangements for workers who are already in Australia, and less than 1 in 10 are actually new migrants into Australia. So it's not really going to be an approach that's going to meet the demand that we've talked about earlier. We think an essential skills visa gets us there whilst also providing the right protections for workers themselves.
And you're talking about an immediate need here. Can the system cope as things stand as we head towards the 1st of November?
Oh, look, I think there are worker shortages. It's important that we get this right, but I think the system is also and the sector is also gearing up to those new reforms, and we'll just have to keep an eye on how things work. But in the years ahead, this is going to be a problem that only grows larger and larger.
Well, as you said, there'll be a need for at least 400,000 additional workers by 2050. How much is demand growing for the aged care workforce as our population does continue to age?
Well, we've seen that there's unmet demand at the moment. It's one of the things that the new support at home reforms are going to be responding to. By our estimates, you could have 2.5 million people looking for aged care support or services by 2050, and we've got a smaller population that's going to be supporting that as well. So migration is going to have to be a part of the solution to that. It is at the moment, and really we'd like to see a system that sets us up for a sustainable approach to that, and one which works with the domestic education and training system and builds confidence in the community that we're providing the workforce that we need for the care demands that we can see before us right now.
Melinda, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That is the Chief Executive of the Committee for Economic Development of Australia, or CEDA, Melinda Cilento.